Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Let's Talk Life with Coffee podcast.
In video form.
I'm your host, Denzel, joined as always by my beautiful wife,
Michaela.
So we're going to go ahead and title this as somewhat of a rebrand. Not a rebrand because we're adding video. We didn't have video before. So this is like a refresh or a new season, if you would.
Yeah.
I would say it's like season 2, basically.
Yeah.
Season two. So
I guess if you're an OG, you know what that is.
Yeah, you might know. You might.
I was not an OG. He had to show me what it was.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there. It is season 2 of Let's Talk Life with Coffee Podcast. And we decided to do seasons because it kind of helps us to, I guess, break it up. If we need to take breaks or hiatuses like this last one, we can do that. So going forward, you can expect seasons. So everything before, technically season 1, all the episodes going forward, well, not all, but the episodes now until we say so will be for season 2.
Yep.
And then we'll let you know from there. But with all that being said, let's get into everyone's favorite segment. What you drinking?
So I am drinking out of my Christmas mug. Denzel and I, like 2 years in a row. We haven't done it this year because this is only our 3rd year married. But we would get like Christmas mugs.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a thing.
Because we got those ones that we used yesterday.
Yeah.
And then the next year we got this, and then the one that I was drinking out of earlier.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
that's
we
cool.
haven't gotten any this year, but Christmas it has started in our household.
Yeah. Started October 31st.
Yeah. So I'm drinking just Nespresso coffee, and then I have the Coffee Mate peppermint mocha cream. Cool.
I'm drinking the same thing that she made, the Nespresso and the, what do you call that?
The Chemex or the
Chemex. I
think they call it a pour over.
Yeah, it's basically like their version of a pour over. Anyway, I'm drinking that just black coffee with my handy dandy maple syrup. So if you haven't tried it out, try it out. It's really good. So keeping it simple for season 2,
Yeah. I was telling him that I wanted to stop drinking like cream. Like I was like, I wish I liked black coffee, and he was like, you should just put sweetener in it.
No, I said you should just put almond.
No,
yes,
you did
for
say
black coffee I did.
Yeah.
I said some form of sweetener I did.
Yeah, because he just puts the stuff in there, but I just don't think I like the maple flavor in there, so maybe that's why.
Did you try with vanilla yet? Did you try with vanilla?
Yeah, I think I'm like, because I don't want to pour it in there and then not like it and then be like, well, now I just ruined my cup of coffee because I can't take the vanilla out.
Just add some almond milk in there or some oat milk.
We'll see. So, what are some life updates for you? Since this is a life update episode.
Updates, kind of catch you up on what's been going on.
Yeah.
Trying to think what happened since I think the last episode was like in July or something. I think.
Yeah, because we did Christmas in July.
Yeah.
We may have done one in August with Jalen and Casey. I think that was our very last one.
That was the last one. Yeah. Okay. So after August, we had a lot going on.
Yeah, it's November 1st now.
Yeah, still do have a lot, but biggest update probably is. We did a lot of traveling. I did a lot of traveling for work. I think it's really the main thing. It wasn't like a whole lot of just like, I had a work trip that we turned into a work trip on the front half of it, and in the back half, once I finished the job, we took our anniversary trip. Mm-hmm. So it just so happened to be where I was working at. We also got an Airbnb like in that same like general area. They were
like 7 minutes from each other.
Yeah, so just like the job site I was working on, it just happened to work out that way. So I was like, oh, look at that. Video work has been rolling. I've been doing so much editing, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
So
lots of editing for him.
Yeah, it's primarily editing. I mean, I've been going out and doing video shoots and a lot of photography. It's one company I work with, and I primarily do photography work for them, which has been, I guess, which is cool. And then the other, I've been working with some other people who I know in the industry, doing editing projects for them. Just finished a big project with Jalen and Casey, which is cool because it actually just started. At this point, it would have just started a couple of days ago, called Death to Pornography, which is a really powerful subject. Great production. Very proud with how that turned out. I helped you.
I'm sorry. You said it was great production. Like you were like, oh, I'm like giving props to the people that produced it when it was him.
No, I'm saying the overall production, not like the production value. Not like,
okay.
Oh, my lighting was so great, which I do think. But I was like, I was saying the production that was put on. But yeah, it was basically a co-production between Jalen and Casey and myself, because it's their content in terms of they were the ones doing the subject matter, but I came in, did all the camera work, and I also edited the project as well. So they have the first 15 minutes of it up on their YouTube channel, available for anyone to watch. But the entirety is it's actually called a cinematic podcast. And if you watch it, you'll understand why. But it's like about 2 hours. It's long. It's meaty. Wow. It's a lot, but it's a lot of good information. So definitely go check that out. But that's what I was about to say. In order to watch that, you have to be a channel member. Mm-hmm. So you have to be a member on their channel, which you can go to their YouTube channel, and they'll have you can figure it out from there. And then, but yeah, definitely check it out. It's good. I'm very proud of how that came out. And some good stuff. And I'm giving them props for tackling a subject like that. People don't talk about it a lot. Yeah. Well, actually, people do talk about it a lot.
I feel like it's a subject that people talk about, but I don't think they talk about it in that depth, especially with their wife next to them. Mm-hmm. So I think that's cool.
Well, make sure you check it out because anyways. Okay, well, there's a lot of good information in there, but
yeah. We're just giving Jalen Casey a whole shout out. So.
The sponsorship check will be in the mail, just so you know, Jalen Casey. So just if you see that invoice, don't be like, oh, I wonder where this came from. It's because of all the plugs.
Your 5 minute segment on our podcast. Yeah, no.
But yeah, so I feel like that's the gist. It's been a lot of stuff going on, but I'll let you hop in so I don't just keep going. What's new with you?
The biggest thing I think is my hair.
Oh yeah.
As you can see, I guess if you've listened to our podcast before and never saw who I was, you never saw my hair before. But I have really thick curly hair, and about a month ago I decided to lock it up, and about a week ago I got it parted and twisted, and then he's instant locking the bottom. Mm-hmm. So I'm going for like the boho vibe locks.
Your whole minimalist.
My whole and
she's become a minimalist. In this time period.
For our anniversary, I found a tiny house in North Carolina, and that's where we stayed. Yeah. And when I was there, it inspired me to come home and go through all of my stuff and get rid of stuff. I went to Goodwill 3 times, and
threw away all of our stuff.
And I feel like I haven't gotten rid of anything.
Which is crazy to say. Like, you kind of realize, I never would say like, oh, we have so much stuff. But then, like you said, you took so much stuff and felt you didn't, like, the house doesn't look empty. Right. So it's just like, dang, we had a lot of stuff that's, I guess, just in storage or whatever. Yeah.
So I'm going with the minimalist hair stuff too. I got my minimalist products. I have 3 products. I don't own a comb anymore, which is so nice. Yeah. I think I've had a comb my entire life, or a brush of some sort. Yeah. So yeah, I just threw it all away. I was like, I'm done.
That's a big thing. Like, for some people, they may not really get it. But being black and having, or in your case, being mixed, and having, curly hair, it's such a big deal. And it's like, it's way more in fashion these days. Back in the day, having curly hair was not the thing, but it is a lot, lot more mainstream. And you'd be like, okay, I'm just going to lock that up. I feel like a lot of people probably think about doing it, but then kind of are hesitant. Yeah. Like, I've had dreadlocks for, this is my second time having them. I cut it and grew it back and did it again. And it was, when I first got it, I was initially like, I don't know if I want to do it or not. because of the same, natural hair, our type of hair is very versatile. You can do all types of different things with it. So,
Yeah.
But I think it's cool that you're trying it because you wanted to do it.
Yeah. So my entire life, been wanting to make a podcast on my podcast, which I don't even know if we talked about that, but I started like my own podcast.
I'd like to plug that. But we never did another episode.
Yeah. So I started doing like my own, and I think I only have three episodes, and then I stopped doing that at the same time we stopped doing this. But I wanted to do one about my hair, but basically I've gone through like my mom doing my hair as a kid to me then not liking my hair for a couple years and always straightening it to then going the natural route. And I can officially say, which is crazy, that I've had natural curly hair for 10 years. That is so crazy to say because I was 16 when that happened. So my hair has been natural, and I've probably put heat on it 4 or 5 times out of those 10 years.
Wow.
Which is crazy. So waking up and doing this like every day, and most times it was in a bun, but like to have it the way I want to do it, it takes me like 30 minutes to an hour to do the whole thing. So the fact that I can just wake up and it be done is like really cool. And then when I met like you, and then having Tanisha do my hair, shout out Lighthouse Artistries,
shout out.
She had put faux locks in, she's put twist in, she's put braids in, and like every time I'm like, oh, this is just so nice to get up and like go, and my hair look good. So I think that's the biggest update in my life right now.
Yeah.
But I'm also still doing nails. Those have been like coming in, and then I took a break 2 weeks ago and have just been taking it slow, going back into it. But yeah. Nice. I think that's like personal updates at least.
Yeah. How has work been going for you?
It's been going pretty good. It's 4 hours a day, and some days it goes by really fast, and then other days I feel like it's dragging. But I think on the days that it goes really fast is the days that I'm actually praying for people. And I was telling one of my friends, Kelsey,
shout out.
I know that I feel like when I'm doing like spiritual things, time just goes by really fast, and you're like, wait, what the heck, that didn't even feel like an hour, or that didn't feel like 2 hours or whatever. But then when I'm like just responding to like Facebook comments and stuff, like if I'm doing that for an hour, I'm like, I don't even do that on my personal stuff for an hour. So it's just it goes a little bit slower, but it takes a little bit more brain power. But all in all, it's good.
That's cool.
I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also school. So how's that? I thought you got like three juggles. Yeah. You got school, you got your nail business, and then you have your job as well. So how's that going?
And then Faye.
Oh yeah, our dog Faye.
She, I guess, as like she went through this period where she was like kind of crazy, but it wasn't to the extent that it is now. And we put her in like boot camp. We keep calling it that, but it was just a training program. And then she came back and was like very calm because it was the summertime, and now that it's cold outside again, she's like at 1,000.
Siberian Husky, if anyone's wondering. So I think that's kind of like they're like more
their nature
is to run the colder weather, and we're just seeing that's like when it starts cooling down, her energy goes up. So.
And but yeah, so school right now, I'm like determined to be done by May. So I will officially have my degree in psychology. Right now I'm taking 2 Bible classes, so that helps because I really love the Bible. We had a whole episode on Bibles, so you guys probably know that. And it's just digging deeper into, one of them is kind of a summary of the whole Bible, and the other one's like a dive of the Gospels. So those are also going really well. But yeah, all in all, I feel like it's so funny because in my podcast by myself, A Renewed Mindset. I hope that's what it's called. I always butcher my own name. But the last episode I talked about was balance. And so the fact that I like was talking about balance and then I just stopped, they were probably like, what the heck happened? But I've been trying to balance like my time and prioritize different aspects. Like obviously he's like number one, and then it goes like my business and my job and then school. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
In my mind. Not that that's right, but that's how it goes. Besides you're always number one.
You know, it's funny you bring up the Bible thing because you recently bought me a new Bible.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's just because I'm very much, everything we talked about this before, I'm very much King James, New King James. And that's like where I've always stayed my whole life. But you got me an NIV one.
Yeah.
And it's a journaling Bible. So it's actually made to write in. Yeah. Which has actually been cool because I was like, I'm always like, I want to study Bible. But I always end up writing in my Bible, like in the margins, but the margins are so small, like the side is so small, but the journaling Bible is made for that.
Yeah.
And then it's NIV. So it's been cool to read through it because I'm all right, I actually like the NIV. It's a cool translation.
Yeah, I actually started with the NIV, and then I think when I got to college, everybody was using ESV, and so I just started using ESV, and I've been like stuck on it. But I think it's like a good middle ground between like NIV and like New King James. Like it's like just very much in the middle. But NIV is like such a smooth read to me. It's like very like just like you don't get tripped up on words and stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's I do actually see that like it being like in terms of just reading it. It is smooth, as a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact, since it's this video now, you can see that I chugged my coffee. You probably still have like half yours left.
I still have a lot, but I've actually been drinking it. This morning had coffee, and I had to warm it up 3 times.
Oh, Lord.
I would take a sip and then put it down and then just start like typing and forget about it, and then I was like, oh crap. And so now I'm like trying to be intentional about but then I also am realizing that because I'm just talking with you and like I'm just sipping and talking and I'm not typing or trying to do anything else, it's like a lot more like easy to drink.
Right. I can see that. I know for me, like I guess I don't drink coffee when I'm doing stuff that much, but like I'll pour coffee and drink it, like have it like while I'm editing and like those kind of things. When I'm reading my Bible from time to time, I'll have coffee. But I guess I don't know, maybe I just don't get distracted from doing, I don't say it's like a distraction, but I don't know, I also just drink stuff quickly.
Yeah.
Like I just down drinks very fast.
Yeah. I thought of another update. I'm excited because I'm making a like breakfast nook thing, and he's done. I still have half my cup. We're making this breakfast nook thing, and I got this table that we're sitting at, and then these chairs from the thrift store, so I felt extra thrifty. But then I got one of our friends to build a like bench for the back corner.
Shout out Ben.
Shout out to Ben. And I'm so excited because nobody else in the world is going to have a bench like that.
We should probably shout Toya out too. I feel like if she didn't get shouted out, she did.
Yeah.
Toya is Ben's wife.
Yeah.
Even though she's not building the bench, I feel like she would want to still get a shout out.
Yeah. She did show me some pictures and stuff, so I guess she is helping a little bit.
She's a part of the process.
With the design process. So shout out to Toya and Ben.
I'm not sure anything else update wise.
I mean, we traveled. We're traveling more.
Yeah. No, I think we got everything for the most part. So yeah, a lot of traveling has been.
I'm 27.
You're 27?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I thought you were 26.
I just turned 27.
That's right. That means I'm going to be...
I remember this. You know what? This is giving me flashbacks to when we did YouTube videos together before.
Oh.
And literally, we had the same hairstyles. That is so weird. But like, funny. I remember we were doing a Q&A, and I think we were saying something like, I don't know, like what how old are you or something, and I was like, oh, I'm 24, and then you were like, you did the same exact thing, and then I was like, and then you were like, shut, like you did that. I remember it so clearly because I was like,
funny.
whoa, but then it ended up being a blooper.
That was funny.
I actually do. I like being 27.
That's a good. I told you it's a good age.
I feel like when I said, oh yeah, I'm 26, I still felt young.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I am, but
27 has more like.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, she's 27. She lived a little bit like.
Seasoning on that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like.
Exactly. I think I'm starting to
like
see
26, 27.
Yeah, once I crossed over that line, because I said, like 20 to 22 is like your early 20s, or 23, 24 to 26 is your mids, and then 27 to 29 is your late. And so once I crossed that line, I was like, okay, you know what? I see what you're talking about with the whole, like, you just feel better.
Because when you're in that middle phase, it's like you're getting there, but then you're in this weird between. It's like, I'm 24, 25, 26, but it's like, when you cross over, you just like, I got a little.
It's like you just feel a little different. Like I was like, because I would always, he was like, you're getting close to 30. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm in my 20s. Let me live my 20s, which I still want to live my 20s. But like, now that I crossed over, I'm just like, you know what? It's not that bad. People are always talking about, I think you always have that, like, older people are always like, oh, I just turned 24, and it's like, no, you didn't, because I'm 24.
I know.
Like something like that.
I don't know why everyone wants to be in their 20s.
Yeah, well, I feel like, I don't know, you move better in your 20s. So
I feel, look, I'm in my 30s, and I just feel great. I feel like I'm like in the prime of life right now. That's all I'm saying.
I do. I feel like at this age, you can stunt on everybody. You're like, I'm an adult and I do what I do, but I'm still young enough to wear it.
You know. Subtopic. What do you guys think about the whole tiny house movement?
Oh yeah, that
wave?
I guess it does kind of count as a update, because I think my heart is pretty set on the tiny house. Yeah.
Or after we stayed at a tiny house, you were like, I want to live in a tiny house. And I remember before I would say stuff like that, and I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, like, how tiny are we talking? Because there's some people who live in some tiny houses. Yeah. And be like, oh, I live in my van. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah.
That is too tiny for me, but if it works for you, it works for you. Yeah, but like, sure. The tiny house we stayed in, we could, both of us, him included, 6'4", could stand everywhere. Yeah. There was no ducking down. Yeah. There wasn't a ladder. There were stairs. So I think it was like things like that I was like, you know what, tiny houses like of this scale, you feel like, okay, I can actually like live here and it feel like a home, and not feel like I'm just trying to put stuff together, so that way I can, like, convenience, I guess. Yeah. So.
Yeah, for sure. I like the benefits. A lot of people do it for like the financial benefits, which I like that too. So like being able to buy a house, own it, get land and all that at a lower cost, but you're not having to be in debt for like years and years. Like you can either save your money and do it, or if this is something that you get a loan for or whatever, it won't be as costly as, you know, a typical mortgage would be necessarily. Yeah. So I like the idea of it. I'm down for it. We talked about buying some land, having a tiny house that eventually we would convert into a guest house, and then building our main house from there. But I mean, I think I really could live in a tiny house, honestly, because I think it's more about, and it depends on how you're doing it, because it's more about, like, some people live in this indoor outdoor type of thing. So it's like they have their house for like the general shelter, but then if you're going to be outside a lot, and I figure if we get a good piece of land, and I want to do agriculture and all those kind of things anyway, I'm like a homesteader at heart. A lot of people may not know that about me. Some people probably do, but I've always wanted to like farm and do, you know, raise crops, and I say raise crops, grow crops and those kinds of things like that. So that kind of goes along with the whole homestead, living off the land type situation. And I'm
definitely an indoor outdoor liver, I guess. I like a lot of windows. I like to sit out on like my balcony, and I was like telling Denzel, I was like, it's crazy because living in an apartment, it almost feels like you're in a tiny house because everything is downscaled.
That's true.
Downsized. Yeah. Whatever the word is. but it's just conjoined with a bunch of other different things. Where like if we could take our apartment and put it like on a piece of land, I feel like it would be considered a tiny home. And then
probably I never thought of it like that.
Yeah. And then like if I opened my balcony and like had trees there or something, like I have plants everywhere. I just like the indoor outdoor thing.
Yeah.
And so if you can live your life outside and then having a dog, just doing that. And then I feel like we've also kind of talked about like building like sheds or a studio, or not building, but just like buying them, and like I could do nails in one and you could have like a studio in another or something like that. So then you're like now having your stuff on your property, but you're separating it to where this is where I work, this is where I live my life, this is where I hang out with my family, and it's like all these different sections right there on your property, but it's not all like conjoined by different walls.
No, I really like that concept of being able to do that, because you have it all on your land, and it helps with being self-sufficient. And if you are like a business owner, you can have that. You don't have to go somewhere and rent a space. You can have it there, but you can still separate it out, like we're talking about. Like some friends of ours have a recording studio, and they have their main house, but then they converted their detached garage into like a studio. So even though it's still in the same property, it's not like it's a big gap between the house and the garage, but it's still separate. So they can do their work out there, but then also have the house be the house. Which I like that idea.
When I was over there the other week, he came in and was like talking to like me and Kels, and I was like, how does it feel to be able to walk like to work? And he was like, it's so great. Like I've gone over there in my pajamas so many times, and I was like, that's so crazy. That's like funny. Just to be able to walk, like I mean my desk is like next to my bed, but it's a different thing where it's separated, and you can like walk to it and come back and be home in like seconds. So
for sure. Shout out Stu and Kels.
I know. Just what? Shout out to Saya, Allie, Trevor, Lexi, Kels.
You'll need to shout them out. I'm just playing with them. Just messing with y'all.
Shout out Deja. She wanted a podcast back too. She asked.
Okay, cool. So shout out.
I'm just shouting out everybody.
Talk to us in the last week or so, you probably get a shout out. Another cool thing is our church. We've been portable, like doing church in a hotel, where we just got a building, permanent space that we can be in. So that's she's very excited about that. But basically we've been hauling the equipment. A couple of different people in the church have been hauling pieces of the equipment that we use for church. So it's cool to have that
to like let
stay
go of
somewhere.
It.
So this week we're going to be I'm going to be over there getting things set up, getting the light. I'm in charge of like the cameras and sound and stuff like that at church. So we get all that stuff straight. So that's going to be good to have that done. But,
and I'm in charge of the coffee bar.
Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.
You should do bloopers.
What type of bloopers?
Because you didn't see me, but I was like,
I did it
with the plane.
That's funny. Just show me not paying any attention. Swirling my coffee around.